Yo, what is going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your boy, that guy, the dryer NEWT. And I kind of want to talk to you guys about Throne and Liberty content plans heading into the next couple of months, and just my thoughts on Crossbow Dagger and how it performs in T3. The gameplay in the background is from Siege, and we kind of popped off. I was using a glass cannon build just to test it out, and it did really well. Being able to hit literally everybody and kill anything that was in my way felt pretty good. But you know, some people are dying really fast. But as you guys can see in the gameplay, and this is with T2 gear, and some T3 gear, not fully leveled or anything like that, so it's not even fully optimized, and only with a heroic crossbow, not even a heroic cape or heroic ring or anything like that. But I kind of wanted to talk about, in my previous video, I was talking about targeting and how I wish that you can just not target certain people, and a couple of tanks replied to me saying that, hey, so what will be the point of tanks, and if you could just select who you target. I will say this, the counter argument to that is you don't target tanks anyway. It's a tab targeting system. You're tabbing through till you find your target. Me as a crossbow dagger player, I hardly ever target tanks because their blessed barrier it pretty much nullifies me completely, and I actually end up killing me. Is it blessed barrier or whatever the shield thing is? I don't exactly know, but you don't target tanks anyway. Certain classes, you're not going to target a healer anyway. So it's a tab targeting system. Why not make it easier to tab target? The role of the tank is to disrupt me, be on me fully. I have no melee evasion, so I'm going to die to them really easily. They're my counter, right? A well-built tank is going to kill me and go after me all the time. And there's a couple of tanks that do that. You know who you are. You literally lock me down and I can't do anything. Cool, it's your job. You know, locking me down, making sure I don't do damage. Same thing with Ravengers. You can say Ravengers is kind of my counter too, just because they can Shadow Strike to me, even though I have a bunch of CC blocks and everything, which we'll get into that. But that's my whole thought process. Just make it easier to target, and just target certain classes that you want to target. You already can do that kind of with the feud system. I just feel like it's kind of pointless. Like, why not just go that extra step, right? So just to make it easier. So that's my argument to that argument. Another thing, I've been seeing a lot of people saying that crossbows are way overtuned. They need to be nerfed. Everybody is getting pissed at, you know, crossbow users and all that. And I get it, right? I get it. Our target selection, a well-built crossbow can literally target anyone while other classes can't. I get it. But I will say this. In every iteration, or every like season, I guess you can say, of Throne, theoretically, and meta changes. Let's go back to T1. What was really good in T1? I played Bow Dagger, which was very good in T1. And I've played Liberator, which was really sought after because the flash wave meta and all that. They were really good. Top classes. I'm not talking about tanks and healers. I'm literally talking about DPS, because tanks and healers have always been in the meta, right? But and Ravengers were really good. The Adentis Blade, just one-shotting almost everybody, man. So there's that. And then T2 comes out. At the beginning of T2, Spellblades were just a menace. It was the best class, and a lot of guilds, you had Spellblades. Some went melee evasion, some went complete just high crit and no defenses, and they were just destroying. And Glads were really good in T2. Just absolutely the best. You saw Glads everywhere, and they're very hard to kill. Even as a Scorpion, it was very hard to kill a well-built Glad with weakened resist and high resistances. They're a brawler class. Glads were very good. And now in T3, with the introduction of like heroic weapons and just like how you can build, Scorpions are one of the best DPS classes out there. And that's just how it goes. Do they need to be nerfed? Probably, maybe a little bit, but every class has had their time to shine. And I even called this out. You can go back like a couple months ago. I said that when I was on Ravager, I said that Scorpions are going to be the next DPS class that's going to be like one of the best, right? And it's not even that they're one of the best in everything. They're not good in large scale, because a random Judgment Lightning could come in and hit me and literally one-shot me, right? Because I'm built to like do all this damage, and I give up all my defenses, and I'm really, really squishy. Even with a party comp, like you see all this damage I'm taking, my healer is just literally focusing healing me, right? Because I'm just that squishy. I messed up here and I didn't realize that there's a whole team behind me, but that's besides the point. Ravagers have always been really, really good in small scale. So as Scorpions have been really good in small scale. Liberators, not so good, but Spellblades are very, very good in large scale, right? Like Spellblades, Liberators still have their use cases. They're just really good. Gladiators are really good in large scale, right? They're the top of the DPS. And any war game that I've done that was against a very good guild, like tier, I have never seen a crossbow dagger player be in the top 5, right? I've seen gladiators, I've seen liberators, and I've seen spellblades be in the top 5 for when it comes to DPS. Now, I don't think I've even seen crossbow daggers players be in the top 5. I've seen Ravagers be in the top 10, right? I haven't seen crossbow players be in the top 10, unless they just popped off and were farming and against like maybe not so good of a guild, right? But that's just how it goes. You are a main target for everybody. Everybody's jumping on you because you're just that much of a threat, right? And that's like the give and take here. You can build really high defenses, but you're not going to like melt people. You're still going to do damage. You're just not going to kill people as fast as you could if you went that glass cannon route, right? I personally like to build for a little bit more defenses, and still do somewhat good damage. But I don't really wargame, and I don't do boomstones or riftstones really. I just play the game and do battlegrounds and sieges sometimes. And siege is not a good representation because, you know, it's just people running around. It's just really chaotic. It's not really organized. So I don't think siege is a really good example of like a large scale thing. But even then, I think I ended up here with like 90 kills. Still pretty good. But also the APM for Throne for Scorpions is really high. APM, actions per minute, is super high, and it is super difficult to play this class like really well because you have to like do a bunch of combinations together and just to do damage, right? Like there's certain things you got to do to, you know, make sure that you are doing damage. One of the things I was not doing in here was stutter stepping and my whirlpool so that I get that extra damage. There's that. But yeah, that's kind of my argument on that. I kind of want to also talk about, I'm going to be taking a break here from Throne for the next 2 weeks. I've played this game nonstop, and I thank everybody for, you know, supporting the channel. We did a complete 180 on this channel. We were an FPS channel, pretty much, mainly a Call of Duty channel, playing on mouse and keyboard. And we switched over to MMOs, and you guys have been absolutely killing it with, you know, the input, watching the videos and everything. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because when most creators switch their content, they lose a bunch of subscribers and they lose a bunch of views on their videos. And the opposite actually happened for me. I gained a bunch of subscribers. I gained a bunch of views. My watch time has went up incredibly, which thank you so much, from the bottom of my heart. But that being said, I'm kind of tired of Throne. I've been grinding it since it came out. I haven't really taken a break. I've only missed 2 arch bosses since this game has been out. 2 arch bosses. One was when I was on vacation, and the other one is when my younger sister passed away. Those are the only times that I've missed arch bosses and pretty much have like, I missed like a week of the game, and that's only when my sister passed away. So that's about it. We've been grinding this game ever since, and there's a bunch of new games coming out that I just want to try, and I don't like the model in this game. Right now, I'm about 6,800 gear score, and I could drop $100 in this game and be 7,400 gear score, right, pretty easily. Have all my tier 3 stuff traded out, ready to rock and roll. But I just don't like that. I don't like the fact that, oh, you feel like you have to drop money into this game in order for it to, for you to compete. I really don't like that, and that's how this game has always been, but I really just don't feel like doing it anymore, and I'm just kind of going at my own pace, having fun, and doing that. So, but I kind of get burnt out of Throne because it's like the same. The gameplay loop is the same. The gameplay loop is the same from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 2 to tier 3. It's the same exact thing, just a little bit more stuff to do. Like Battlegrounds has been really, really fun, right? But I think it's a little too late. And especially with like what people have been doing for the hyper boost servers. If you didn't know like how these people are getting like high contribution, Aragon did a very good video on it exposing it, but people have been making a hyper boost character and then queuing up for world bosses in the hyper boost servers and then inviting their main character on and being in their party, and that drags them in. So you're going up against people that have like lower doesn't have the gear as you, and you're just getting this super high contribution by doing that. You're not going to get that type of contribution. Like the most contribution I got on my server was 6, and I came in first. That's what using Crucifix, 6%. There's some heavy hitters on my server, Snowburn, and a lot of people PvE, and they have the gear and they spend money on it. So there's also that, and there's nothing that AGS or NCSoft is going to do about it, because it's like, oh, it's my bad, they're just abusing the system. But I mean, you should have figured this out from the beginning, right? Bugs in Liberty, if you get what I mean. But we're taking a couple of weeks off of Throne. No, I'm not quitting it, just taking a little break. We got Call of Duty that's coming out tomorrow for their beta. We're gonna be playing that, and we got Battlefield. I kind of want to get back into FPS games, kind of get my skill back, and just kind of be like doing what I enjoy, right? Which I do enjoy MMOs, but I'm just burnt out right now. So I think a little break, a little reset, get back into FPSs, see if I can get my aim back, and kind of just grind those for a little bit, and see where it takes us. I'm waiting for Chrono Odyssey to come out. I'm waiting for a really good MMO that's not pay to win, and that I could just dive into like I did with Throne and have fun with my friends. That's pretty much it. But that's enough of me rambling, guys. I hope you guys understand. Again, thank you so much for all the love and support on this channel. We're not going anywhere. More to come, growing further. Peace and love, everybody. Bye.